Hi everyone, welcome to English with Aga. If you haven't been here before, my channel is all about helping you with English grammar, pronunciation and vocabulary. Before we start, subscribe to my channel and get your free English grammar booklet from the video description. In this video, I'm talking about 6 different grammar questions that will help you improve your grammar and instantly help you feel more confident when speaking English. So let's get this video started. The first grammar structure I want to talk to you about is to have something done or to get something done. This is an extremely common grammar structure that comes up in everyday conversations in English all the time, so you will definitely need it. It's a type of passive voice, so you're talking about somebody else doing something for you. I had my hair cut this morning. That means somebody cut my hair. I was the subject of the action. Somebody else did it for me. I had my hair cut. So in this structure, you need I had, and then you need the past participle of the verb, cut, the third form. I had my nails done this morning. Again, this means somebody else did my nails. I had my nails done. You can also say I got instead of I had. I got my bike fixed last week. It means somebody fixed my bike last week. I got it fixed. Again, the structure is I got and then the third form of the verb, the past participle. I got it fixed. I got my car washed last week. Again, somebody washed my car. I got it washed. The next structure I want to talk to you about is the present continuous to talk about future plans. Often, English students make the mistake of using will to talk about their plans, but often what we need is the present continuous, especially when talking about something that is definitely going to happen because you've arranged it with other people. For example, I'm playing football this weekend. It's a plan that I have made with other people. It is definitely going to happen. I'm playing football. I'm working next week. Again, this is an arrangement I've made with my employer. So it's definitely going to happen. I'm working next week, so I can't meet you for coffee. I'm picking up my new car next Monday. Again, it's an arrangement I've made with the car dealer. I am picking it up. It's a plan. I have arranged it with the person who's selling me the car. I am picking it up. So make sure when talking about arrangements that you have made with other people or plans that are definitely going to happen, use the present continuous, even though you're talking about the future. The next tip I want to share with you is that there are some verbs in English which are always followed by ing. For example, do you fancy watching a film tonight? So to fancy is one of those verbs. It's always followed by another verb and ing. Do you fancy going for coffee? Do you fancy watching Netflix tonight? It means do you want to? And the verb is always in the ing form. Do you fancy doing something? Another example is the verb to avoid. I always try to avoid going shopping on Saturdays because it's really busy. I avoid going shopping. So again, avoid is followed by a verb with ing. Avoid going. Another example, to consider. My sister considered moving to London, but eventually she decided to stay in Manchester. So she considered moving. Again, we've got to consider and a verb with ing. So make sure you look up verbs that go with a gerund. which is the ing form, and you need to just memorize which ones they are to make sure you always use them correctly. Other verbs in English are always followed by an infinitive, which is the form with to. For example, to manage. I managed to get a job at my dream company. I managed to do it. So we've got the verb to manage and to get. An infinitive. I managed to get a job. Another example, to promise. To promise is always followed by an infinitive. She promised to help her friend move into a new apartment. She promised to help her. We've got promise and infinitive. Another example is to pretend. A group of kids pretended to be detectives. They pretended to be detectives. Again, we've got pretend and an infinitive. My next tip is to do with words in English that sound very similar to each other, but they have very different meanings. For example, bored and boring. They are very different. The first one is a past participle form, so the third form of the verb. I was very bored last night, so I watched a film. I felt really bored. I didn't have anything to do. This is just a feeling that I felt, but the film was very boring. Now I'm not explaining how I felt or anything about me. I'm describing the film. The film wasn't interesting. It was boring. The same goes with frightened and frightening. I watched the film and it was very frightening. I'm describing the film, how it was. It was frightening. It made me feel frightened. So now I'm talking about myself and how it made me feel. I was frightened. I was scared because the film was a horror. And the final tip I want to share with you is the difference between must and have to. Both of them can be used in many different ways, but we will just look at one example. I must get a new job and I have to get a new job. What is the difference? So the difference here is about whether something is an external obligation or an internal one. So an external obligation is when somebody forces you to do something. So my company is restructuring and I'm going to lose my job. So I have to find a new one. The situation and my employer is forcing me to find a new job. I have to find a new job. It's an external obligation. But when I say I must find a new job, it's something that I decided myself to do because I don't like my job anymore. I must get a new one. It's something that I personally need to motivate myself to do. I must find a new job because my current job is really boring. So there is no external obligation, it's just an internal motivation. Of course, you can use must to talk about rules as well, but this is just one example of how these two verbs can be used and the difference between them. So I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and get your free English grammar booklet from the video description. And I'll see you next time. Bye!